GoPro recently released the new Hero 12 Black, and it has sparked a debate in the action camera community because of the small updates to this generation compared to the previous ones. Today we're going to dive deeper into the features of the GoPro Hero 12 and unravel the truth, but look at it from two different perspectives. One from an everyday user and the second from a filmmaker's perspective. And hopefully this will help you decide whether you need to upgrade from the previous Hero generations or even buy the new Hero 12 if you're in the market for a new action camera, or disregard this completely and go for GoPro's competitors. Hey guys, thank you for joining me on this video. It's Farhan, and before I get started, I'd like to mention that GoPro is not sponsoring this video, nor did they send me this Hero 12. I purchased it with my own money, so all opinions are my own. So I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the Hero 12 and then go into talking about my experience with it from an everyday user's perspective and then from the perspective of a filmmaker, and then give my thoughts in the conclusion. So the outward appearance of the Hero 12 Black is pretty much the same as the previous generations, like the Hero 11 and the Hero 10, except that the 12 has blue spots on it. And it also has the quarter mount at the bottom, which is pretty nice to have. Apart from that, the front screen and the rear screen are pretty much the same. GoPro has now added a new interface for the Hero 12 Black, which is a little different compared to the previous generations. Now for this perspective, I took my tripod and I visited a park. And many users of action cameras use them for travel memories, or to create underwater content, or to even record their daily adventure activities such as biking, hiking, and many more. Now for someone who's also interested in making vlogs, it's got mics at the front and at the back, and now you can even connect your Bluetooth headphones to this and use it as an external mic. However, if you want better audio, you want to get the media mount for this. Now the Action 4 has a USB-C connector where you can connect an external mic such as the DJI mic and use it for really good audio. You don't need a different mount for that. Now for a lot of action stuff, you need a wide angle, and this has got the hyper view and the super view. And if you want really good field of view, you can get the new Lens Mod 2.0. which does cost a little extra. I can record up to 5.3K in 60 frames per second, 4K 120, and 2.7K 240. It's got very easy controls for those who are starting out and don't know which option to choose when making certain videos. The new Hyper Smooth is even better than the previous one, and I never had any issues with the stabilization of the previous one, but I'll take it. So we found some electric bikes and I decided to mount this on my chest using the snap mount, magnetic mount, and go for a ride along the park. Now I filmed this in the standard color profile in the hyper view and also in the super view, both in 4K 60 frames per second for about 20 to 25 minutes each. It was about 32 degrees Celsius out and I didn't have any heating problems with it. But when it comes to video, it's now got the HDR profile. So this has a very nice look to it, and even though I don't really use HDR, it's just nice to have that picture profile in there. And I'm sure many people who will be using this just to get those really nice looking action footage will appreciate that it has HDR, and it's pretty nice to use. It also has the standard and vibrant color profiles on it. I'll get more into the GoPro log in the next perspective. It also shoots 27 megapixel photos, but not only that, you can also get 24 megapixel screen grabs from your videos. Now from an everyday user's perspective, being able to edit my footage on my phone using the Quick app is pretty cool. Now you can also change your perspectives from wide to super view to hyper view depending on the frame rate and resolution you were filming on. You also have a lot of templates on the Quick app, which helps you easily edit your footage and share on social media or to share it with your friends and family. Another thing that everyday users will appreciate is that it has a lot of presets such as star trails, vehicle lights, and time warps and time lapses, which are pretty cool. So you have the option of choosing time warp or time lapse in video or in the photo mode. Now for the professionals, we'll shoot time lapse photos in RAW, edit them, and then merge them into a time lapse. But for those who don't want to do that, they can film in 5.3K or 4K resolutions and get some pretty good looking footage. I'm addicted to hyperlapses and time lapses, so I definitely use the GoPro for a lot of that stuff. I usually mount it at the top of my car and get a lot of time warps. I also film a lot of time lapses as well. It's one of my favorite things to do with the GoPro Hero 12. While you're taking videos of yourself or even taking photos of yourself, you can see yourself on the front screen. However, it's not touchscreen, which really sucks. Everyday users also have the option of shooting in super photo or HDR photo as well. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like to edit their photos, you can just use the super photo option or the HDR photo option, and you get some pretty good looking images that you can share. You can also shoot in RAW, which is what professionals use to then edit their photos in post. I rode the electric scooter a couple of times over grass and it was pretty shaky, and Hypersmooth 6.0 kept it very stable. Now, for an everyday user who uses it for biking, for hiking, for surfing, or just to have it as a camera for travel memories, it's got a lot of options and makes it easy for beginners to navigate and to get some really good looking photos and really good looking videos straight out of the camera, and also a lot of templates and easy to use editing on the Quick app. Something worth mentioning is also that now you can have a live view on your Quick app while your camera is recording, so it's really good to have this feature, and I'm glad that they brought it back. Now, from the perspective of a filmmaker, let me first start off by saying that one of the main reasons that I got the Hero 12 is because I appreciate having the 8:7 aspect ratio. Now, a lot of times when I'm out there filming, sometimes I want to get different perspectives where I'm like, okay, should I film for 9:16 or should I film for horizontal? So when you're stuck in this situation and you decide that you want to use the footage for both, it's really good to be able to film in that almost square aspect ratio where you can use to crop in for 16:9 or 9:16. Now, the second awesome feature is that it can film in 10-bit log. It could do the same with the Hero 11, but now we have the GoPro log. For those of us who love to color grade, will appreciate log footage. If you want to match your footage to other cameras, you can now do so because it can film in log, and you can color grade it so you match the rest of your footage. Now, this is really good for those who like to film underwater stuff, or for those who like to use it for FPV, and I'm super excited to try out the log footage when filming some FPV shots. Another good thing is that you can film in 5.3K resolution, which allows you to crop in and not lose quality if you're exporting in 4K or even in 1080p. Now, being able to film time warps, time lapses, star trails, vehicle lights is pretty cool, and it really does add some depth to your footage, and you get some really good looking shots. Also, if you have ND filters from the previous Hero generation such as 10 and 11, they will also work with the Hero 12. I use the ones from Freewell and they work perfectly fine. And the good thing is that the Hero 12 comes with a quarter mount, so you can mount it on many tripods. I don't really use the HDR feature on this. I'm really interested to try it on my FPV drone and see what it turns out to be. So for those of us who want to get the best looking footage, we can using 10-bit color and also using a high bitrate. It also shoots 27 megapixel raw photos for you to edit. Now, if you're someone who wants to edit their raw photos for time lapses, you're able to do so as well. Now, the inbuilt stabilization works really well. I haven't tried it out on my FPV drone yet, but I sure will, and I'll make another video on it. However, when filming with FPV, you want to turn off your Hypersmooth and stabilize it for better looking footage in apps like RealSteady or Gyroflow, which is free. Now for the last part, the conclusion and my thoughts. Now, a lot of reviewers have been testing this camera out when it comes to heating, etc. I've used this for almost about 2 hours filming a time-lapse video, and it was in the shade, it was outside, it was about 31 degrees Celsius, and yes, it was hot, but it wasn't hot to the point where it just turned off. It was still recording in 4K 8:7 aspect ratio. I've also mounted this a couple of times on top of the car in direct sunlight for about 30 to 35 minutes straight, making time warps in 5.3K and in 4K as well, in about 33 or 34 degrees Celsius as well, and no problems whatsoever. Now, I'll admit that most of these updates are firmware updates that could have been added to the Hero 11. I mean, many of us were expecting a bigger sensor size for low light performance, even though that's not something I really use it for, but it'd be really nice to have a much bigger sensor. I mean, that's probably the upgrade most of us were waiting for. Another thing I was really hoping for is to having a front touchscreen. Now that is super convenient to have, just so you don't have to keep turning it back and making the adjustments that you want to make. You can just do it while the camera is facing you when you're using it for whatever reason. It would have been really nice to have that feature as well. Now GoPro, if you're watching this, please add more options for frame rates. For many of us, we like to film in different frame rate options, 48 or 50. Please add more frame rate options. It'd be really helpful. Now with the previous Hero 11, I've had a couple of times where I've had to remove the battery and put it back because it just freezes or heats up, and I have not had any issues with this one so far. Now, while I was out on the electric scooter filming in 4K 60 in the hyperview and super view modes, I didn't have any issues with it either. I was recording it for about 20 to 25 minutes straight. Yes, it was a little hot, but it didn't turn off or anything. It was still recording and it was doing pretty good. I've also realized that it is doing much better when it comes to battery compared to the Hero 11. Now, while I haven't personally tried out the Action 4, I've watched a couple of review videos and it is pretty cool because it has features such as charging it from 0 to 80% in 18 minutes. That's pretty cool. It is much more reliable. It doesn't heat up a lot, and it's got really cool features as well. Even though it records in 4K, it records in really good quality. Also, it has a front touchscreen and, more importantly, a bigger sensor. So that is very nice. And when it comes to reliability, I'll definitely give it to the Action 4, even though I haven't personally used it. Not that I'm saying that the Hero 12 is unreliable. For me, it's doing exactly what I needed to do, and I'm really good with it. And one of the reasons that I bought the Hero 12 is because I prefer GoPro's image. Not that I use it very often, but it's really cool to have features such as being able to shoot night lapses and vehicle lights and star trails and light painting. It's really good to have these extra features. Now, should you upgrade from the Hero 11 to the Hero 12 Black? I personally don't think you should. And you should probably wait for the next one if it is a much bigger update, especially to the hardware, and I'm talking specifically about a bigger sensor size. And if you're looking to upgrade from the Hero 10 as well, I would still suggest waiting. Now, while I haven't used the Action 4, I've heard really good things about it, hardly negative things about it, and I've watched a lot of videos. I've talked to other content creators and they've given me their personal experience and they haven't had anything negative to say about the Action 4. So depending on what your needs are, what you're looking at is what you want to look at when deciding to buy an action camera. While the Hero 12 is something that fits my needs, well, most of my needs, there could be another camera that suits your needs better. And there's a lot of other reviewers out there who've put the Hero 12 on the test compared to the Action 4, side-by-side comparisons, and actually putting it to the test, like testing it at 4K 60, 4K 120 for as long as it takes, battery tests, etc. This video was not about that. This was just about having it from two different perspectives, of an everyday user and a filmmaker's perspective, and what I think about it. Like I mentioned before, I really was looking forward to having a bigger sensor size on the new Hero 12. Disappointed there, and I was also hoping for a front touchscreen. Disappointed there too. So in terms of upgrades, they're not really big upgrades. Since I'm a GoPro subscriber, I get discounts on the GoPro store, and I was able to purchase the Hero 12, the standalone model, for only $300, while the standalone version is actually going for $400. So if you're a GoPro subscriber, I think now they're having an offer that you can subscribe for $25. It does have benefits where you have cloud storage and you have, I think, about 3 no questions asked replacements for your Hero 12. So it's pretty good to have this subscription if you do decide to go for the Hero 12. Now the Hero 11 is also slightly cheaper now, and so is the Hero 10. So if you're looking to save some money, I recommend going for the Hero 10 or Hero 11. But if you have that money to spend, then I would suggest going for the Hero 12 so you have all the latest features. Now I'm going to repeat myself again and say that while deciding to buy an action camera, first you need to decide what you need it for, what it's going to do for you and how you're going to use it. Depending on those things is what you want to base your decisions on. Now, unfortunately, I'm loyal to GoPro, so I still decided to go for GoPro, even though I was strongly advised to get the Action 4. Does GoPro deserve loyal customers like us? Now, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to get back to you. Also, let me know which camera you're deciding to get and why. So those are my thoughts on the GoPro Hero 12 and the reasons why I decided to buy this camera over other cameras on the market right now. Hopefully this video will help you decide which one to purchase or not to make a purchase right now. Now, I have a couple of videos coming out putting this camera to the test even when it comes to FPV. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Now, I hope you found this video helpful enough to hit that like button, as it helps out this video and my channel, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'll be sure to see you in the next one.